Welcome to Heel Heat, our WWE show for the week. I'm George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Rocco Rock.
Thanks, Johnny Grunge. No, Gary Rhodes. Voice of the voiceless.
You should be voiceless.
Thanks, Gorilla.
We all know who the Gorilla is here.
Anyways, we'll talk about a great show. It was a pretty good show Monday night.
Yeah, the hot opener with the Lawler CM Punk promo. Punk was hitting Lawler with some good stuff leading to a match later.
Oh, he was just stabbing him.
They gave him, Lawler let him get away with something, some good heat on him. Said, who did you beat in Memphis?
Yeah.
The only thing I can remember him beating is the charges from that 14-year-old girl.
Thanks, Eddie Gilbert.
Doug Gilbert.
Doug Gilbert.
Dark Patriot for the win.
Hey, check you out. Anyways, yeah, it was an epic promo he cut on him. It made up for not having a match at the beginning of the show.
Right. And, I like the format of a match in the beginning, but if you're going to have a good promo, I'm okay with it.
As long as it's entertaining. And that's the one thing about the show we'll talk about later on is it just seems, the 3 hours seems like it takes 6 to get to.
Yeah, it drags on at times. There's some real highlights in this show. There were some real lowlights in this show.
Okay. We'll go over them all.
Then after that, we got the Ryback and Swagger match, which, we knew it was going to be Ryback because Swagger's standing in the ring with no music, and that means it's a Ryback match.
And that also means that this week has its Pat O'Connor, Sankara, Botch of the Week.
Sankara? Botched it again, cowboy.
Sankara, that's all he said.
Sin Cara.
That's how you white folks say it. Anyways, when he went to back body drop Jack Swagger and about dropped him on top of his skull, that was a botch.
You just botched the whole goddamn sentence. We're just going to start calling you Sin Cara. Anyway, we got Mystico over here. Then, coming up.
He's a good rapper.
Not Mystico, that's Sin Cara.
I don't give a crap. I don't watch him.
But anyway. It's another Ryback match. It's along the same lines as all the other Ryback matches. I really want to see him step up in his competition, start facing guys like Sandow, like Cesaro.
Well, I think if they would have played it right with Swagger, it would have been a good little program. You look at it this way, Swagger's a former world champion, former United States champion, former ECW champion, and they've jobbed the hell out of him.
That doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Well, I know you're hard on for ECW, but anyways, they are just jobbing the shit out of this poor kid. I don't know if it's like he's pissed somebody off the back, or if they're trying to give him the learning experience. Yeah. The same as they did to Triple H,
CM
Punk, Daniel Bryan.
What he's willing to
look what happened to Daniel Bryan since.
Yeah. See how he's willing to put up now. One guy that went through that is The Miz.
He did, and he's finally making a good comeback.
And, then we got the match with The Miz later that night, which was Miz versus Cena, which I thought was a solid match. I think the two guys work well together. Miz and their talents work good together.
They complement each other well. Miz has gotten to be a lot better in the ring than he was. He's not the Jannetty of the group.
No, definitely. He's definitely a lot better than I thought he was going to be.
Well, when they first went for a singles push, I thought they went with the wrong guy. I thought Morrison should have been the guy.
And everybody did. Everybody looked at John Morrison as the next Triple H and looked at Miz as somebody that's going to get fired.
How wrong were they?
Yeah, it's
one gets fired, and the other becomes the WWE champion.
Well, Morrison just let his contract expire.
Well, they weren't going to do nothing with it. If they wanted to keep him...
The best thing I thought was Morrison was the run he had with Sheamus.
And that was good.
I liked that. But anyway, we're getting off the subject here. And, this Miz versus Cena wasn't a dream match, which leads me into our question of the week. What would be your favorite dream match? Now, we do got some answers for some of our friends out here. The first one's from Lou over at the Deadly Sins. I would have to say Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart Iron Man match, submission only. Love that.
Awesome.
Great answer. I think the two of them could pull it off, would do really well. Neither one of them would get blowed up. They can go the hour time limit. The only thing I would add to it is make it a WrestleMania match. That's a WrestleMania moment right there. Heels Are Better at Heels Are Better on Twitter. Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle. Again, along the same lines, Kurt Angle, master technician, Daniel Bryan's this generation's version. of Kurt Angle, Bret Hart. Great match idea. Then our friend Otto Von Fox, at Otto Von Fox on Twitter, he gave us several. Colt Cabana versus the Honky Tonk Man. I could see them working.
That's an awesome one. That's probably my favorite of the picks from him.
I could see that working as a really good Intercontinental title promo or
you're gonna have some good,
program.
Colorful, funny promos from both guys.
And both of them are real solid workers, undervalued workers in the ring. Then he put Kerry Von Erich versus Edge. I like it. I'm not a huge fan of Kerry Von Erich. I liked his work. I really liked Edge's work a lot better. I think if they did it, Edge would have to get over. Kerry Von Erich in world class, Kerry Von Erich versus rated R superstar Edge, I think would be tremendous. They put a lot of asses in seats, especially in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Then you got Terry Funk versus Steve Austin. I think it's a match that has happened.
But not in their primes.
In their primes, it would be two guys just beating the piss out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be one of those...
Trash talk, too, the whole time.
Oh, my God. The promos alone would be tremendous. Terry Funk, underrated promo guy. Steve Austin, one of the best promo guys ever. Then Otto also gave us CM Punk versus Macho Man Randy Savage. I think that's a dream match for every wrestling fan out there. I mean, you got one of the best that's ever done it in Randy Macho Man Savage, and CM Punk, one of the best of this generation.
Well, if Savage would have got Hogan's push from the get-go, he'd have been bigger than Hogan.
Yeah, because Savage was 10 times better than Hogan, and everybody loved him just as much as Hogan. Then we got from our friend Paul over at the Deadly Sins, Bret Hart in his prime versus Dean Malenko in his prime. I'm really seeing a trend here, JR. Our friends and followers and fans, they all like submission wrestling. Interesting. Tremendous idea. Dean Malenko is one of those talents that's really undervalued. I think he carried him and Ultimo Dragon and Chris Jericho when he was in it, carried that cruiserweight division in WCW.
And the one guy that got most of the push and a rub from it was Malenko. Or not Malenko, I'm sorry. Mysterio.
Mysterio got the rub. Well, a lot of guys got a rub from it.
Well, I'm talking about, I don't think he was as good. I didn't like him then. I don't like him now. I didn't like the skinny guy with no tattoos. I don't like the fat guy with tattoos that covers his all with a shirt. I just don't like him.
And
Sam I am.
That's because he's been hanging out with Paul doing the eating competitions. Remember?
I think he's been hanging out with Evan
Continuity,
Bourne.
GR. Continuity.
He's been hanging out with Evan Bourne first.
But anyway, and then from our friend Poor Man Shane's Doyle at Little NPT, Dolph Ziggler versus Mitsuharu Misawa. For those of you who aren't familiar with Misawa, he is Tiger Mask #2, and then went on to wrestle as Misawa under his real name. Was a head booker at All Japan. When they split from Giant Baba's wife, he created Pro Wrestling Noah over there. Tremendous innovator, he invented so many moves that I can name a list of moves that you see every Monday night, every Thursday night, that the guy innovated himself. Tremendous worker. Didn't do much in the States. He did some with Ring of Honor that I can remember. I want to say he wrestled a couple matches with WCW, but don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Tremendous worker, working with Dolph Ziggler, one of the best workers of this generation. But off of that, what would be your choice, GR?
Well, I'm in a little quandary. I got two matches I'd love to see.
Did you just say quandary?
I did. And it's a tie to me. I don't know which one I'd want the most.
Apologize to Mellow #5 for saying quandary.
That's my gimmick. Anyways, it's a tie to me. As a dead heat, I don't know which one I'd want worse. And that would be Dolph Ziggler versus Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Or Daniel Bryan versus Chris Benoit.
The mirror matches.
Exactly.
That's it. The Mortal Kombat mirror match is what you got going on, basically.
But the Benoit and Bryant match would have to be a submission match.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they both do the headbutts off the top and everything like that, but you want to see the no-lock versus the crippler crossface.
Yeah. Or the perfect plex versus zigzag. Well, mine, personally, I'm going to steal your gimmick. I'm going to take 2-2 if you.
It's only fair.
If you want to take 2, the first is the one I was going to go with if we just did one, and that is the Road Warriors, circa 1986-87, at the peak of their popularity. NWA Road Warriors, when they were the best tag team in the universe, versus the Dudley Boys. 1996 Dudley Boys.
So you wouldn't do 98 or 99?
No, 96, 97, where they're lighting ECW on fire and they're bringing helping bring ECW up to a mainstream company, helping bring ECW to pay-per-view. Bubba Ray Dudley cutting promos, killing the fans.
Now, would you bring the entourage with them?
Oh yeah, you'd have to have Paul Ellering on the Road Warrior side, and then you would have to have Sign Guy Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, Joel Gertner, the whole entourage with the Dudleys. I think to me, as a fan of tag team wrestling, it's a match that I've always really wanted to see.
Plus, like you just said, Joel Gertner out there. Joel Gertner doesn't get the credit he deserves for probably being one of the biggest hype men in the business.
Yeah, he was really good. And then for my second match, I'm gonna shout out a personal favorite of mine. Shane Douglas. His whole career called out Ric Flair. Shane, I would like to have seen you in your prime versus Flair in his prime. Two guys, their gimmick was really similar. Shane had the triple threat, Flair had the four horsemen. It's 4 versus 3. But, I would like to see that match. I think if I were to book it, I'd put them in an hour-long Broadway, have it go an hour-long time.
Color?
Oh, yeah, definitely. They'd have to get bloodied, Shane using the chain, Flair using whatever foreign object he can.
Any outside interference, or just keep it just between the two of them?
I'd keep it between the two of them. I'd book if it was up to me, I'd book a whole series. They'd have one match where the Horsemen cheated, and Flair won. The second match, the triple threat, helped Shane win. And then the third match in the steel cage.
All clean.
The two first ones. The third one would be Shane winning in the cage. Or no, it would be an hour-long draw in the cage.
I'll give you that one.
I think, just me, I'm a wrestling fan, that's what I would like.
Right, you want to see a program.
And another
And I think with the two picks I chose, and mostly the picks that everybody else here chose, you have a good program here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Could you imagine this one right here, CM Punk and Macho Man? Just the shoot interviews, or the interviews alone, would be worth seeing.
Yeah. And that's going to lead us into what our question of the week for this week will be. What failed gimmick of the past could work if it was brought back now? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter. Put it down there in the comments. Down where?
Down there.
Exactly. I toss the softballs up. He hits them. It's the only way he gets a hit. Jesus. Anyway, and then going back to the show, we got
You're Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Oh my God, you're the goon. Then we got.
You're fucking Willie Gooker. Anyway, sorry.
All right. Well, the Shockmaster over here has been, getting me off of track here.
Sorry.
Our next match was Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow versus Brodus Clay and Sin Cara. It was a decent match.
Boring.
The only thing I think the wrong guys won.
Mm-hmm.
Cody and Sandow should have won. They are so obviously the future of the business, if not just future heels. These guys are main level talent just waiting to break out.
Well, the thing is, with this match, they didn't get a chance to hit their high points in this match. It was all Brodus and Sin Cara. And, to me, that's boring.
Sin Cara, I think he's absolutely terrible, absolutely a waste of money at this point.
He's a waste of space. And at least they didn't do the crappy highlights.
Brodus Clay, I really like him. I like his gimmick. He works well as a mid-carder. I'm really going to like when he turns heel and he becomes Monster Brodus. I think the kid has a lot of future. I just think the guys that you could be pushing to the top level heels, with guys like Triple H and Chris Jericho leaving, you could have built these guys.
Did we go over our next question of the week?
Yeah, it was what failed gimmick.
Okay.
Memory jar.
I'm getting old, kid. I took a bump.
You took a bump? You should have took a 5-hour energy before you're coming over.
Oh, yeah.
And then, off of that, we got Daniel Bryan versus R-Truth. Good match. I like the ending. I did like the ending, which brings us back to the backstage segments all night with Daniel Bryan. The kid is money.
Oh,
I think, fuck CM Punk's gimmick, Daniel Bryan is the best in the world.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you that.
CM Punk actually stole from Bryan. Bryan was using that gimmick in Ring of Honor.
Well, how many moves has he stolen from Bryan?
I mean, they're friends. I'm sure it's a shared thing. The MMA elbows is stolen from Bryan.
Bryan has so much you don't even need it. That's the thing.
Yeah, Bryan, he's tremendous. I really think he's the best in-ring talent, and his promos, the kid is amazing. That whatever they're putting in front of him, he's
I thought he
knocking
couldn't
out
talk.
of the park.
I thought that was his thing. I thought he couldn't talk.
Yeah, he's proven everybody wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's proven everybody from Vince McMahon all the way down the line. Everybody that ever told Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, you'll never make it to the top, he is proving them wrong. I mean, kudos to the guy. He is tremendous. I'm a huge fan of his.
Oh yeah.
And you know,
like I said, that's why I chose him in a dream match.
Yeah.
Is because I mean he's an awesome competitor, and him and Benoit would be just perfect.
Exactly. And you know and then bringing Kane into there. Wow, that was Kane. Kane, I'm a big fan of Kane as well. That was one of the best Kane promos I've ever seen.
I think
in
that was
my
his
life.
best. I'm sorry, that was his best to me.
He brought up burning his brother, burying him alive,
Twice.
Katie Vick,
The
Pete Rose thing at the end. I have a strange obsession with torturing Pete Rose. I was laughing my ass off.
We had to watch it twice.
It
was worth it.
It was well worth it. Best thing I've seen Kane do in a while. The whole anger management thing was spot on money. Probably the highlight of the night for me, personally. And then after that, let's talk about the low light of the night. Actually, there's two of them. Triple H's retirement speech. If it was legitimate, I would say it's one of the highlights of my night because I'm a big Triple H fan.
Yeah.
But with it not being, with everybody in the world knowing that there's going to be a rematch at some point, it was garbage. It just wasted 20 minutes of our time.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't really want to talk about it much because it really wasn't a real retirement. When Triple H really retires, we're going to probably do a whole show on his career.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think this was it. Just like I don't think this was last thing we're seeing of Jericho.
I'm a big Jericho mark, I ain't gonna lie. Well, for both of them, actually.
Yeah.
And to me, if it was really legitimate with both of them retiring, I would be very upset right now. Because
And
these are two of
probably-
the best guys of the Attitude Era.
And we probably would have done a show just dedicated to them. We would have done a special. But anyway, then my other disappointment of the night was the Ziggler, Del Rio, Orton, Sheamus match. I think the match was boring. You got two guys that work a slow pace style, Del Rio and Orton. They don't seem to work well together. Sheamus isn't really a good worker. Ziggler can only carry so much.
You can. And the thing is, with Sheamus, when he cashes in, Sheamus is going to be beaten down.
Yeah.
And the only reason for that is that way it'll sell.
Yeah.
Because Sheamus will Hulk up or Super Cena up. That's all he is right now. He's Red Cena.
Red Cena. And then you got I forgot to talk about when we were talking about Kane. Kane on commentary.
Kane was awesome on commentary. Never spoke a word.
Exactly, and I think the commentator sold it well. Josh Matthews running away, and then Michael Cole stood.
The whole nervous standing there.
He stood the whole time and stood away from Kane, where there was a desk in between them, and you know I mean, I shit on Michael Cole almost every week, but that's the best thing he's done since he got raped by Heidenreich.
I would have to agree.
And you know, then we got. Coming off of that, we got the main event of the night, which was set up by the awesome promo earlier. Jerry Lawler versus CM Punk in a steel cage match. Epic. I mean, the guys, you could tell, you know, the gimmick is that it's a respect issue, but you could tell they respect each other with what they were doing to each other.
And there's a newsflash. There is a brand new king in Memphis.
And he sung it.
Yeah, while he was beating the hell out of him.
It was a tremendous match altogether. I liked it a lot. Jerry Lawler could still go. Probably better than half the damn roster. Definitely better than Sin Cara.
I don't know if anybody's better than Sin Cara. What I liked about it was the whole beginning of it when he was open and challenging him. Punch me, Jerry. Punch me.
Yeah.
You know, give me your best. You know, with Jerry Lawler having the hardest hand in wrestling or whatever.
I really liked the when he locked him in.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, did the beat down afterwards. Now, what I read today is Michael Cole actually botched on that. Because when a Punk did the rock bottom, he didn't call it the rock bottom. He didn't even call anything. But it's supposed to be a subtle hint to the eventual Punk versus Rock match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did use that move beforehand, before he locked in the
Anaconda
Vice.
He did the rock bottom and went and just held it in and went
Yeah.
to the Anaconda Vice. Tremendous combination. There's CM Punk is another guy just like Daniel Bryan hitting on all cylinders. I think Daniel Bryan's a little better at this point. You would have asked me 6 years ago, I would have said the total opposite. But
it's not like they're beating each other by leaps and bounds. I mean, they're both the top two guys right now, I think.
And CM Punk, for what he did after the match, is going to be our heel of the week.
Oh, he has to be.
I mean, he by far he did his first actual real heel move in attacking Jerry after the match. It was good stuff, good match, good ending, nice way. He ran away as soon as the cage came up and Super Cena
He was
jumped
getting
in.
some boos, which is good.
Yeah. And, that's what you want him to get if you're going to force him into being a heel, which they're seeming to want to do.
Well, the thing is, I would have done the opposite. I would turn Cena heel, him face, but...
Maybe it's what it'll lead to. The whole stealing the spotlight thing might turn Cena heel. I hope so, because I'm tired of the Cena character.
Yeah. I think everybody is.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, that's basically pretty much all I have for the show this week. Anything you need to add, GR?
No, I think we about covered it all.
I'm George Coles.
Gary Rhodes.
And this has been the Heel Heat WWE show for the week.